A reading from the book of Leviticus. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and tell them, 'Be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. You shall not bear hatred for your brother or sister in your heart. Though you may have to reprove your fellow citizen, do not incur sin because of him. Take no revenge and cherish no grudge against any of your people. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord.'" The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Two years ago, I was at a silent retreat house in Colorado. And as you can imagine by the name, it's pretty quiet. And even in the lunches, even at dining times, we had to be silent. And so one lunch, we had chili and cornbread. And so I go to the table and I sit down with my brothers and chili and cornbread, and I grab this delicious looking cornbread and I take a huge bite into it, and it was awful. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever tasted in my life. It was like sour milk times 10. One of the ingredients in the cornbread must have been spoiled. It was pretty awful. And it reminded me of this reading about hatred and holding grudges, and how awful it is, and how, hatred and holy grudges, is kind of like a spoiled ingredient food. It looks good on the outside, but on the inside, it's horrible. And hatred and holding grudges, it spoils our soul. It spoils the depths of who we are. It takes away the good. It spoils the good of who God made us to be. And worse, it spoils the union that we have with God. And it reminded me of a time where I held a lot of hatred. In high school, my first 3 years, I was bullied. And it was awful. Anybody that has been bullied before would know that. It is one of the worst experiences to go through in life. And what he did, it wasn't right. And it hurt. But what I did to myself, to the anger and hatred and rage that I had for him, did so much worse to me than he ever could have done. It destroyed me. It wasn't him. It was me that was destroying myself. He was just lighting the sparks. I was the one throwing the gasoline on the fire. But letting go of hatred, it's not easy. It's kind of like a horrible excuse for a security blanket, because you hold on to it. You think there's power. I have this power that I hold over this other person. And really, it's just a losing battle against Satan. And it took me forever. Well, not forever. It took me a long time to forgive this person. And I kept fighting it. And that was the opposite of what I needed to do. Because what I really needed to do is I needed to surrender. I needed to surrender. And it is in the surrendering that we're able to truly love our neighbor. It's in the surrendering that we're able to bring peace to the world, not rage. Because rage blinds us. It blinds us, though we may think we see injustice and wrong in the world, in our communities, in our own lives. It blinds us. It's only love It's only love that is going to be able to, that it is only through love that we're going to be able to reprove our fellow citizen. And we see a model of this in Christ. He was betrayed. He was arrested in justice. He was scourged at the pillar. He was crowned with thorns and mocked. But he did not hate. He did not place blame. He surrendered. I mean, he was God. He could have changed. I mean, he could have stopped this. He could have stopped all of this. But being a model, he became a model for us by surrendering. Because in the toughest times in our lives, we need to be able to just surrender. We can hate or we can surrender. But it is by the surrendering that we are able to have peace. It is by the surrendering that we are able to love, to bring peace into the world. And the cross holds a magnitude of signs and symbols that we can never fully imagine. But what I imagine Christ saying to us is, love as I have loved. Surrender as I have surrendered. Be holy as I, the Lord your God, am holy.